Hello everyone, and welcome back to the long-awaited episode 3 of Owner Time with me, Tobbers. As I'm sure you all know, I'm the owner of Empire War and EpicQuestz, and today we'll be having a look at some stuff I've done over the past few months on both servers, in fact, though mainly on Empire War. Full disclaimer before we get into this, some of the footage you're going to see here was shot a long time ago, back in early January, I think, maybe even earlier. So if that seems a little bit odd to you, well, step one, get a grip. But if it's still too upsetting, you can just skip ahead to a more contemporaneous part of the video in which I focus on stuff I've done in early March, which is, of course, basically now. Also, apologies, in the early part of the video, which of course was filmed a few months ago, I do have a little bit of a cold, and I may even seem a little bit sleepy, but I'm sure you can cope with that. I go through a to-do list a few times in this video. Yes, I realize I don't actually do many of the things on the to-do list. I get distracted, blah, 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 whatever. Get over it. Anyway, let's get into the video. We've been quite busy on Empire War dealing with the new Java edition, v3, which should be seeing more development over the next year. Don't expect anything immediately, but as you're well aware, we've been testing it quite a lot over the past few months. Nevertheless, there's still quite a lot to do on v2, the current edition, as well as EpicQuestz, which is where I am now. So without further ado, I'll take you over to my to-do list so we can see what needs doing. So here we are on my to-do list. I share this with Steel Wonders, who also helps me out with a few things behind the scenes. He's the system administrator. There's quite a lot here. You probably remember some of it from the previous episodes. That shows you how busy or not I've been. Let's go through some of these things. The ones further down are less important or older. The ones further up are more immediate. So I've been suggested by one of the players to add an accuracy plugin, which better deals with the accuracy of archers. So, i.e., that means that when you fire an arrow, your arrow will always land in the same place no matter what, which is not a feature which is currently present in Minecraft, and OCM, the plugin we currently have, which deals with these sort of things, doesn't quite do it right. This amazingly named task is to give the runner-up of the Christmas lottery his class subscription. That should be quite easy. This is more complex. This should allow me and the other staff to edit the effects of classes in-game rather than having to do it behind the scenes, which at the moment only I can do. So this should be very helpful for class balancing, etc. So there's some other things behind the scenes where effects are currently removed on restock, things like that. So that's quite important, but also should be fun to do because it's quite an adventure, maybe a little bit complex. Random stuff, lots of stuff to do here. Start vote for donors, that's quite a big addition. I'm not sure whether I'll add that today. Gold, Moira Gold is kind of messed up, you probably know. Lots of other small things which should be either simple or not simple to do. Add Hero's Death Message, I already added that a little while ago, but for some reason it got removed, so I don't know why that happened. I'll just have to try and re-add it. So that's that. I'll head over in game to see what I can do. We just need to do add subscription days. The Apple Piano, which I believe is the guy's name. Now let's just check what that does, because it might accidentally give him some extra stuff as well. Yes, it's going to give him the rank, which we're going to need to remove soon afterwards. So we're going to check his rank first. Hero. So we're going to add that back after we do this. So we're going to do pex group hero user add the Apple Piano, and then remove him from veteran. Perfect. And now we'll send him a message to say we've done it. Now that's great because it means we've done number 1. Okay, now we're going to do this task, which is right at the top, add the accuracy plugin. I explained what it did earlier, so now it's just a question of downloading it and adding it to the server, which I'll do right away. So here we are, we're just going to drop it straight into the plugins folder, like that. Wait a second for it to load up properly. There it is. Now all it requires is a server restart, but I'm fairly sure there are people on the server, so we'll wait to do that for a little bit. By the way, sorry if my voice is a little nasally. I have a bit of a cold, it being winter and all that. Anyway, we've done. Count that as done. I also want to check the OCM config, which is the current plugin we use for things like removing cooldowns and ensuring that the gameplay is more akin to 1.8 than 1.9. So now we're going to move on to the second part of the task, which is checking the OCM config. Now you'll see here that OCM does actually have a setting for disabling projectile randomness, which is effectively what this plugin does as well, but OCM doesn't do it very well. So we could here actually move this to false, but that wouldn't be very useful because I'm fairly sure it's just going to be overridden by accuracy. If not, I'll come back at a later stage and move that to false so it doesn't interfere. The only other thing, someone complained that player collisions were on, which surprises me, but according to this, if we can find the right, so according to this they're actually off, so I'm not sure what that was about. So that's that task done. We'll mark it as done now. So we're going to take a brief break from Empire War to do some stuff on EpicQuestz. Now my jobs on EpicQuestz in part include reviewing and leading the Oldberg project, which is a new Rohan project we're working on. Apology for the graphics here, I don't actually have Optifine installed. And we have a jobs plugin which helps manage this, so I'm simply going to review jobs that need reviewing and decide whether they can be accepted or should be reopened for further edits. So I just type job, list, done. It shows me all the jobs people have done and who've done them, and also who created them. It's mainly me and Steele. And I can just click on them to visit them and see if they've been done properly. This one doesn't actually look like it has been done because, yeah, look, I asked for a farm gate here, but there clearly is no farm gate here. So I'm simply going to job, reopen 504. Then someone else can come along and do it again properly in the future. This bridge I'm not too sure about. I'm waiting for one of our designers, the Pharaoh's Cat, who you probably know, to help review it, because it's not quite the right shape possibly, I'm not sure. Yeah, again, I'm not 100% about the tree. I guess it's alright. Actually, no, it looks a bit like those ones over there. I'm going to approve it. So to approve it, I just open the done menu and do shift, left click, and it gets approved. Simple as that. And Ra has decorated this back garden pretty perfectly, actually. I like it. So that's definitely going to be approved. And the other two I'm leaving to talk to other people about. Okay, that's honestly about it. This is the Oldberg map we're working on. Maybe I'm going to do a review video of this someday. It might come to Empire War at some point. Who knows? We'll see what happens when it's done, and if it's suitable for Siege or not. Okay, welcome back to the present day. We're back to early March now. I think the old footage was from around January, and you may have noticed there's been quite some changes in Oldberg since the last piece of footage you saw. An awful lot has happened. I don't actually have much to do here at the moment. We're just waiting on people to finish a few jobs off. And Oldberg, this map, should actually be released around Easter, if all goes to plan, that is. Which it rarely does, to be fair. You may also see this as an Empire War Siege map. If you think this is a good idea, just tell me and I'll definitely consider it with the rest of the moderator team. Anyway, I think at this point we can just head back to my to-do list. It's a different to-do list now because it's been so many months since you saw it last, even though you only saw it a few minutes ago, but that's irrelevant. And we'll see what needs to be done on Empire War. Okay, welcome back to my current list. You can see it's a little less high-tech than the previous one, but I'll just quickly run through it. I need to block item frame use, so that should be really simple to do. I'm not sure why it's not happened before. Basically all it means is that right now, if item frames exist in maps, they can be abused. We don't want that, but we also want to be able to have item frames in maps, so I'll just block them being used. I need to look at implementing some new class caps, possibly. I doubt I'll do that this episode though, because I need to talk to the mods more about it. Implement rocks. I'll think about that. I'm not sure if I will, because I've actually coded rocks already. I just need to work out how to actually put them in the game. I'm not sure whether I'll do that via troll, via another class, maybe make a new class which does rocks. If you have any suggestions, feel free to suggest them. Reform class function. That's boring and technical. You don't need to know about that. Game XP and stats reform. That's a little hard to explain. I'm just basically trying to work out how to implement heroes into the gameplay, rather than just having mods give them, like how it works at the moment. Move new Cove from V3 to V2. Those who played on the V3 tests will know that Cove has been changed a little there. I'm just going to move that over to the V2 version as well, since it's now in rotation. Looking at implementing start vote for kings, we're going to have to change the mechanics of that a little. Mod help ping, oh that's really minor, just pings mods when people want help. And then the one bug I've noted here is apparently jump boost is lost after restock, which is, I guess, problematic, so I'll have a look into that. Well, step 1 should be quite easy actually. So I've navigated to one of the scripting files, and I found this. This is regards to the item frames, that is. The current code has actually been moved to Steel's Java plugin, but we can easily, reuse this for item frames. If I just copy that, like the lazy person I am, and replace these with item frames, and save this. Now if we pop over to Empire War, first we need to reload the file, so I think that's what it's called, I might be wrong. Yep, and now we need to test. So let's find an item frame, and it should work fine in creative, and it should be disabled in survival. Perfect. Oh, not perfect, right? That's fair enough. In that case, okay, that should be fine. Let's try again. Ooh, not happy. Well. This has been a little more complicated than I expected, and it turns out you can't actually block using this awful scripting plugin we use. You can't block left click removing items from item frames. So if I go back into creative, put something in there, go back into survival, yeah, right click is blocked fine, but left click will still do that. And there's, as far as I can tell, no way of stopping that using our scripting plugin. The alternatives are writing a Java plugin to stop it, which would be good, or just blocking it with WorldGuard, which I think is possible, but I'm not sure about, so I'm just going to have a look at that for a moment, and I'll get back to you once I've worked it out. Right, okay, well, after a little bit of researching, I don't know what that is. After a little bit of researching, I've come to the conclusion that I can't easily block left-click item frame capability as it stands. I can spend some more time researching at the time, but right now I realize I can't do it via script. I also can't do it properly via WorldGuard, because the only way of doing that is disabling all interactions, which we don't want, because obviously we still need some players to interact with some things. For instance, say levers and buttons and pressure plates and doors and stuff like that. So I'm just going to have to say that's a failed quest for now, and I'll move on to something else. Right, I've actually just been on a little bit of a lunch break, and after some consideration over my very tasty sausage roll, I've decided actually the last thing I'd like to do for this episode is change troll quite a lot actually. So one of the biggest disagreements I had with Tim was his implementation of Troll's disguise, which I was always against, to be honest, and I won't go through all the various reasons why here. Anyway, so step 1 of changing Troll will be removing the disguise. Now, I know I did a poll a few months ago in which most people said they liked the disguise, but I'm going to ignore that poll. And then I'm going to have a little look at its knockback capabilities. So right now there's some weird sort of TIM code which means knockback's really unreliable and Trolls can sometimes take knockback and sometimes not. I'm going to look at changing that a little. Then I'm going to look at implementing Rock onto Troll, and then at some later date we'll see how balanced it is and see if that means we need to, change Troll's bands a little. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing now. So I'll just open up the script and we can have a look. Now what I think I'm going to do here actually is split the class into two. Now, as I'm sure you know, Troll is in fact two classes, Cave Troll and Troll, one of which is the voter class or a free class depending on whichever one we choose, and one of which is a point class. If we pop in here, I can show you. So let's just have a look for Troll. Oops, that's not how you spell Troll. See, Troll or Cave Troll, Troll or Cave Troll. Right now, Troll and Cave Troll are actually identical, even though one is a point class and one isn't. The reasons behind that are all to do with game balancing, in effect, because, on some maps you want to limit the number of Trolls accessible to players, and an easy way of doing that is to make people pay points. So if we pop down here we are, classes Troll or Cave Troll. Now I'm going to make Cave Troll be the same as it was before, and I'm going to change Troll to be different, to be it's this new class effectively which comes with Rock. So I'll be back in a second once I've made some changes. Okay, we're back in game, and if I'm not much mistaken, Troll will no longer have a disguise. Oh, I should accept myself from that. I think we can just do this. And let me just check and see if the disguise is applied. No, it isn't. Well, that's perfect. So step 2 is working out how to implement rocks. Now, we're here in the class abilities script. And just down here you can see this is the rock script as it's implemented at the moment. So the class is a class called rock, which is a little hilarious. Let's change that to Troll. I think everything's sorted there. Let's just see if it works in game. Now all we need to do is find some stone or rock, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, stone. Let's speed ourselves up a little bit. Here we go. Perfect. And now I think this can be thrown. Wonderful. There's a slight cooldown, I think 30 seconds or something. The next step, of course, will be to implement some damage to the rock, because as far as I'm aware right now it doesn't do any damage. We can test that though, and we also need to make sure Troll slows down when people are walking. Let's try and throw this at a player, see if it works. It did kind of work. Okay, cool. Anyway, I know I haven't actually properly implemented Rock yet. It'll just be staying there as a sort of annoying device for the next few days. I'm a little busy at the moment, so I'm going to be finishing off the episode here, editing it as quickly as possible and putting that up. I might be doing another one of these episodes soon. I'm not really sure. They take a lot of effort, as I'm sure you can imagine. And by a lot, I mean, well, not much to be fair, but a lot for me. Especially since, in effect, the development cycle of the server is slowed down a lot by me recording it. As in, instead of me just doing stuff, I have to explain what I'm doing, plan out what I'm doing, and try and retain some semblance of cognitive ability when I'm talking to you. Anyway, that's been Owner Time 3. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've not fallen asleep, and I'll see you again soon.